Hey guys, this is my third time recording this. I normally make a pretentious list of all the bull crap that I play in a year. You know, game wise. And ow. Yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna make a pretentious ass video instead. I hope you enjoy. We live in a cynical world. A cynical world, and we work in a business of tough competitors. I love you. You complete me. Seb and Dissa in Arian's Pretentious Game Awards. So this is the award show. Enjoy it, mates. It's good. Can't believe I fucked up literally the first move. As you can see, Kwomp is the best game ever made. One of my early Game of the Year contenders. It's a simple game about escaping. Shouldn't take more than an hour or so to beat, but it's just a beautiful creative game, never outstays its welcome, constantly gets more creative, and completely explores the idea of being a pong ball as a one-button platformer. You'd think that only having one button would lead to a lack of varied challenges, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Over its short runtime, it figures out every way it can challenge the player, and challenge it does. Some punishing sections remind me of the challenges in Super Meat Boy, but just like that game, it's never the game's fault. You have all the control, you just have to master timing that single button press. It can get really creative in some later sections, as I'll quickly show, but yeah, everyone should play Kwomp. One of the best games of the year, easily. Also, it looks like it's so simple looking, but it's also like so epic. Like, look at this. I love this. I want this as a painting, and the music also kicks ass. Just everything. This game is the best. Everyone needs to play it. Also, don't watch me lose on this section like 50 times. This section is over. This game's the best. Best game of the year, except for the next 9.
Your life. You're gonna show it to me. I want to see exactly what made you so absolutely great. If you understand what I'm saying, blink over my hand here. Just think back.
Look at that
To the
sun.
very beginning. The first thing that you can remember. Every time you blink, you're going to jump forward in time. Could be a second,
Ooh, that's good.
could be 5 years.
But that's enough for
We have to make him do this every birthday.
me. That's a great idea.
I don't know what I'd do without old Benny. It's Chloe, your neighbor.
But understand,
I love it.
no matter how much you like it, you're not going to be able to stay, all right?
Out of all the stories told in video games this year, I think Before Your Eyes uses the medium of video games better than any other game released. Watching your life flash before your eyes and skipping in time further forward every time you blink could be seen as a gimmick, but tied with this story, it is so effective. I never had any issues with the mechanic, because if I did, it really would break the experience, but I truly didn't have any issue using my webcam and watching my life flash before my eyes in this really touching story. I have no jokes for this entry. I can't joke about it because it's a very sad game and probably the most choked up I got this year. Fuck you, Tobin! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you, Tobin! Fuck you! Fuck you, Tobin. I really like Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's very good. I've only played like 15 hours of it, but I love it. I love the previous SMT games. I love Persona, but this one in particular is very oppressive, and I love being oppressed. All the demons are disgusting. It has everything I love about the series, and it's even better. The combat's at its peak. Brilliant game. Very fun. Love combining demons. So much fun. Very creative. Fuck you, Tobin. I love this game. This is being on the road. I'm on the road. It's dangerous.
我刚才请示过慈姑观音了。从这个盘来看，这个状况是一种因果业，所以你才会遇到这种事情。你放心，慈姑观音非常灵验，你只要拿出诚心，所求之事一定可以达成。你想清楚了哦。那我们现在就去慈姑观音面前发愿。
As you will see by this list, I just love being fucking terrified while solving puzzles. Devotion is below 2 other similar entries on this list, but it's still here for what it does that I've never seen before and what those 2 other games could never do. I've never seen a story told so effectively in a horror game before, one that even managed to be rather touching. Of course it's still horrifying, but it's a beautiful kind of horror. It manages to be so atmospheric that even though it's not a game filled with jump scares, I was on edge at every moment, and piecing the story together by myself and eventually having some of my theories flipped on my head was very surprising. Its unique setting and premise due to its Taiwanese origins is what kept this game in my mind throughout the year. A disgustingly gorgeous game about family, and it fucking counts for this year because it was removed after like 2 minutes from Steam when it came out. Very great.
Castle Bell heralds danger. The bell tolls for us all. They're coming again!
Mother Miranda, I regret to inform you that Ethan Winters has escaped that fool Heisenberg.
I thought Resident Evil 7 was amazing and was always hoping for a game like Resident Evil Village to follow it. Village is a Resident Evil theme park, filled with sections that tap into every part of a Resident Evil fan, and it's just wonderful. I loved being chased by a tall vampire lady, I loved going through some disgusting swamps, I loved scavenging for ammo and shooting werewolves or lichens or whatever the hell they're called, I loved talking to a greasy disgusting merchant, and the dollhouse stopped me from sleeping forever. I felt like I was being thrown somewhere different every few hours, and that worked great for this game. It has the most variety out of all the Resident Evils, and manages to be paced well like the best horror games should. There was enough set pieces where I felt just powerful enough, and plenty where I felt powerless, but I never dreaded or rolled my eyes at either style. It really nails what it means to be Resident Evil in every sense with a bogus story to boot. And of course, the cliche line, can't wait to see what comes next.
Let's see what you're really made of, Ethan Winters.
Hey, I'm at the halfway point editing right now, so I thought I'd chuck in this video to say thanks for watching this far, and you get to join the exclusive giveaway of my I hate myself so much. This year has been awful. Just nobody cares about me at all. I thought I was special, but I was barely thought I was special to a single person, but I was barely a blip on their radar. Oh, well, every person, really. I hate myself.
Psychic powers, he dives into your mind.
My name is Raz, and I'm the new intern. And today is my first day on the job.
Get ready.
If the Game Awards had a category for Best Script, it would go to Psychonauts 2, along with Best Narrative, like it should have. A game that celebrates life, diversity, and everything that makes us weird, all surrounded with humor, lovable characters, and of course, there's one of the most creative platformers we've had in years. Psychonauts 2 is the peak of creativity from a company known for it. Most platformers are set in a creative world surrounded by mushrooms or green hills, but how many are set in a dentist chair while you're simultaneously helping someone work through their deepest trauma and fears? And how many is about reconstructing someone's life through a band tour in the 70s or 60s, whatever, I wasn't alive then. In Psychonauts, you dive into people's brains and see what makes them tick, and you certainly see some weird and wild places that ooze creativity, and not only do they ooze this creativity, it's all connected to its story. The base concept of Psychonauts in diving into people's minds is such an excellent one, and it is so well explored here. Developing the characters by actually searching through their minds is such an ingenious way of telling a story. The depiction of mental illness within the game is also handled very well, and I'm just amazed to see so much effort put into a 3D platformer in the year 2021. It is so awesome, and I really hope more games like this get made.
One reason why people don't really want to know the future, why a really expert fortune teller gives most people a little bit of trepidation, is that if you know what the future is going to be, it is less worthwhile going ahead towards it. If you know the outcome, why bother?
Come in to me, show us the way. I'm caught between the wisdom parts of the unknown, adored between two worlds, a sight to see. It feels like everything is moving around me. Feels like it is moving in
Just look at that, everyone. This is one of the most beautiful games. It's gorgeous. Sable in a lot of ways is kind of my dream game. It takes all the relaxing and meditative parts of Breath of the Wild and makes it into a whole game. All you do is ride into the desert, listen to a chill and beautiful soundtrack by the wonderful Japanese breakfast, and come across some people who need help. Some people can see this as busy work or fetch quests, and it really is, but that's not what it's about. It's about the journey, not the destination. But seriously, it is. You explore, climb, drive, and glide across a beautiful world, where every screenshot looks like a digital painting. It's not hard to describe Sable, but it's hard to describe the joy I felt playing it. like a relaxing bath after a hard day. Sable is the most relaxed I've been playing any game all year, and it kept me up late at night as all I wanted to do was stay in that world, driving into the sunset forever. I loved exploring every nook and cranny, finding masks in this beautifully designed world. Honestly, it's gorgeous. And there's even subtle variety to the vast deserts, and I loved coming across weird and quirky characters. I loved discovering things, and I just loved being in the world of Sable. Yes, I'm very depressed, but this is amazing, and if you want to relax once in your fucking pathetic lives, why don't you play it?
Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 pups in a tub. Who do you think they be?
Little Nightmares 2 is a storybook full of terror from a kid's perspective. A nightmare through and through. A puzzle platformer horror experience to remember. A game of getting chased by horrifying creatures, hiding from certain death from other horrifying creatures, and working together with another little boy to get the fuck out of wherever you are. A twisted world that hates children that is somehow as equally fun and satisfying to play as it is terrifying. Setting these puzzles and platforming sections in a world where everything is out to kill you and you are as powerless as a light in a fog adds tension to everything you do in a way that even Resident Evil Village couldn't achieve. And having someone to escort around makes the experience feel even more tense. It adds weight to the simple story which is all told through the environment. It never feels like you're hindered at all by the AI, and the sections where you separate make the threat of loneliness even worse. It perfects everything it sets out to do, and is one of the few games I've given a 10 out of 10 to in my whole pretentious hobby of writing about video games. Nothing is at fault from start to finish, and if you, like me, love the feeling of terror added to your puzzle platformers, in a world that feels like Spirited Away got even more fucked up, then rush Don't Walk to Little Nightmares 2. A beautiful puzzle box of horror that cannot be turned down, and my favourite horror game this year. Out of all the games I've played this year, I think Metroid Dread would have to be the most fun. There's not much I can say that hasn't already been said. It's another Metroid game. It comes with the same haunting atmosphere, tight combat, platforming, and excellent puzzle and world design that you'd expect. Mercury's Steam has truly outdone themselves and has made a pinnacle in the legendary franchise. The Emmy Zones are a new addition and are a highlight. They add nice variety to the game, being some of the most fun and tense sections that lead to epic chases. The boss battles are also moments to see Samus truly live up to her badass status, and they are fun as hell. Varied, epic, some are towering aliens like you'd expect from the franchises. Others are more nimble, more similar to Samus herself. All are excellent. And the story. It's amazing how much you can say with so little, and Metroid Dread really does that. It hits its marks and story beats better than games with hours of cutscenes. Combination of simple cutscenes, little dialogue, and environmental storytelling proves that you can tell an effective story without distracting from gameplay. Metroid Dread doesn't just live up to being a Metroidvania, it truly lives up to being an action-adventure game. Shooting any enemy and engaging with any boss is so much fun and feels so responsive and good to play. With all the control in the palm of my hands, I feel like I'm the one fighting. The controller just disappears. And in terms of adventure, the variety of places to uncover along with its story, by the time you get to the explosive finale, it's truly an adventure to remember. Metroid Dread is one of the highlights and best games of the year. We're about at the end of the list. I'm recording this on the 1st of January because I'm pathetic. I didn't manage to finish in time. But to be fair, I forgot my hard drives, but Right before we get down to the number one, I thought I'd go over some honorable mentions. So we got new Pokemon Snap, a great new entry for the Pokemon Snap series. Brought back that series in a good fun way. 12 minutes, really cool time loop story in a year full of them. Wildermyth, excellent D&D style adventure. Emily is Away 3 is a really fun threequel in that franchise, which has been mimicking text adventures and stuff. Texting, not text adventures, but this one was like Facebook when it was good and it was fun, good story. We got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is good. Which is it's real good. It's real good, but it's no Psychonauts too. Mario Golf Super Rush, played a ton of that, super fun. Life is Strange True Colors, probably my least favorite Life is Strange, but it's still above a bunch of other games in my opinion. Monster Hunter Rise, also great. Loop Hero, excellent. Really weird one, Loop Hero, I'd play Loop Hero. Knockout City is excellent too. I'd like to add Road 96 I really enjoyed. Returnal as well, and can't forget about Riders Republic, Ubisoft's best game in forever. So that's it, and without further ado, let's get down to number one. Sometimes the most innovative, most interesting games can just be text on a screen and some pictures. I probably have the least to say about Genosha than any of my other games of the year, because I really don't want to ruin any more than I have to, because in a game about deduction, it's all about the discoveries. The main sentiment is you have to play it. If you're a fan of social deduction, of visual novels, of time loops, of games like Danganronpa or Phoenix Wright or even Among Us, you need to try what possibly could be the best out of all of those. In Genosha, you are stuck in a time loop of being aboard a ship of weirdos and there's an imposter among us. One of the humans is secretly a Genosha, an alien that will eliminate everyone on the ship unless you and everyone else can figure it out. By putting people into cold sleep, you've either killed the Genosha or simply freeze the human. More Genosha than humans and you're killed. An easy way but equally degrading way to describe it is calling it Among Us with a story, but I say that's degrading because the world itself and the characters are so unique and well developed that it very quickly feels like its own world with crazy rules. Slowly and slowly more characters get introduced, more elements such as doctors who can tell if someone in deep freeze is really Genosha, but are they Genosha and lying? These elements can be overwhelming at first, but they are treaded out at a perfect pace. One of the best parts is eventually you gain control and can put as many variables as you want. Want to be the doctor to identify Genosha? Sure, let's see if people believe you though. Want to be the Genosha themselves and try and get away with it? Go ahead. Want to have 10 Genosha or... actually, I can't really remember the limits. But you can have a lot of Genosha and not many humans, and you can see how far you get. These elements are just the surface. There are so many variables that can be changed that I never dreaded another loop. If this game was just these loops over and over, it would probably still be high up on my list. But the mystery at its core is what makes it so impactful, not to mention the multitude of events that come out of some of the characters that range from hilarious to horrifyingly dark, which seemingly come out of nowhere on what looked to be an average loop of social deduction. There's a reason you're looping, and finding out leads to many magical moments, some of which are my favourite of the year. But it doesn't just shine in these moments. Successfully conning people into your lies or truths, trying to suss out who's bad or trying to get away with being bad in every round is a treat. Like Phoenix Wright fighting for his life in 20-minute rounds with crazy shit constantly happening, the game just keeps evolving. The art, the vibes, and writing is amazing. Can't believe a gem has gone unnoticed by most people. But not by me. Genosha is the best game I've played this year.